What it is. Podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the best podcast in Long Beach, California. It's your boy Tacos and Workouts, but you can call me JR. Everybody calls me JR. Hey, and nice to have you guys. We made it. We're back. All right, man. So many things have been happening, and I think last week, right, we covered a very cool podcast. Sadly, it had to do with police officers kind of abusing their powers and beating up on a defenseless guy. They were being real jerks with them. And you know what? We said that wasn't cool, right? And I think some people, might say, "Oh, you hate cops." No, I don't hate cops. I hate people that are bullies. I hate people that try to take advantage of other people that can't defend themselves. That's what I hate, man. When it's all even Stevens, then fine, right? But I don't like people that, like I said, abuse their authority and take advantage of people. That's not cool, man. So that's what that episode was, showing that in my belief there were possible racists. And I said that, that they should be fired, right? If they're abusing their power, they should be fired. So with that being said, we had a follow-up episode that kind of had to deal with a young lady lying, putting all her mess on the social media, but then a cop pulled her over and he was being cool with her, and then he let her go, but then she put her business on the internet, which essence made him be questioned by his superior, saying, "Hey man, you're trying to pick up on chicks, minors, that are drunk, and you're gonna lose your job," right? What ended up happening was that it was a lie. So that was a cool officer, right? He did his job. So many things happen with these cops. But what did I say last time, right? That being a police officer, there's no room for error. Why? Because people's lives are at danger, right? That's what I said, and I hold true by that. That's true. There's no room for error, man. So you have to be very careful on what you do. All right. So I'm gonna take you, before I continue rambling on, I'm gonna take you on a little journey here. We're gonna watch a series, a couple of videos, right? This video actually happened in Orange County, California, right? I think it's Lake Forest. There was a situation where a law enforcement got called in to a person inside a Walmart. He was trying to do fraudulent activity. I think he was trying to pay for or make it seem like he paid for some items with a fictitious receipt and trying to walk out. And then what ended up happening is, as they're detaining him, right, they noticed he had a weapon. He had a knife. And they told him, "Hey, let's hand that over," in essence. And he refused. He started to refuse arrest, whatever. And then what ended up happening was they tackled him to the ground. And then what happened is, some way, either he grabbed one of the officers' guns or he himself had a gun. That was not said in the story. But the officers did what they needed to do, and they shot him in the head. And here we go.
He's got a gun! Shoot him! Somebody shoot him!
Wow, deputies trying to get an accused fraud suspect out of an Orange County Walmart store. Open fire when he grabs a gun. Investigators say the voice you heard on that video yelling, "He's got a gun, shoot him," was a civilian trying to help the deputies detain the suspect.
KCAL 9 Orange County reporter Michelle Gisel has more of that video.
Newly released Orange County Sheriff's body cam footage shows the struggle between deputies and an armed man.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun! Shoot him!
And then the officer-involved shooting, which happened at the Walmart in Foothill Ranch in January. Officials say the deputies came after employees made a 911 call needing help at the store. A couple allegedly tried to pass a fraudulent receipt to steal expensive electronics.
So we can do this civilly?
Initially, the interaction with the suspects was cordial.
Yeah, the receipt right there. Yeah, okay, stop stealing. Let's go. I don't do this. You're like 40 years old and you're still stealing, dude? Get a job. Let's go.
2 seconds later, the deputy facing the suspect points out that he has a knife. As the arresting deputy spots the suspect's hand on the weapon, he attempts to handcuff him.
Look, dude, you're making this hard on yourself. Stop resisting my partner.
The man, identified as 30-year-old Ernest Aguilar, who had outstanding warrants, resists. As 3 deputies wrestle with Aguilar, a civilian steps in to try and help. They all fall to the ground. That's when a gun is spotted in the suspect's hand.
He's got a gun! He's got a gun! Shoot him! Somebody shoot him! 463. Shots fired. Shots fired.
The suspect was shot in the head, but he survived. He was hospitalized and has now been moved to the jail where, among other things, he's charged with 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer. In Santa Ana, Michelle Gili, KCAL 9 News.
All right, there you go. So let's talk about it. Was that wrong? Did the officers do something wrong in that situation? Comment down below. I would really want to know your opinion. Okay. You know what? I respect everybody's opinion. If somebody says yes, somebody says no, whatever. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and you know what? You want to write it down. You know that's what this is all about, right? I go. You know what? I go back and I read the comments, and I also mention my viewpoints and whatnot. You know, if somebody drops like a really nasty comment, what YouTube does is they just erase it, and I don't ever and never even get a chance to see it. But comment down below. Was that wrong? Did these officers use the right amount of force? All right, man. Let's break it down real quick. You know, this is what ended up happening, right? The guy, right? You just seen the video. You know, doing things he shouldn't have been doing, right? And they were polite with them, right? And they were you know, like try to keep it peaceful. But then when they took him to the ground, right? Because he had warrants and he knew he was gonna go down to jail, right? What those warrants were, I don't know. For how long he was gonna go, I don't know. But you know, he pulled out a gun. So at that particular moment, the officers needed to defend their lives, and they shot him in the head. Were they wrong? That's the question. Personally, me, I think in this particular situation, no, they were not wrong. They did what they needed to do, and they tried to de-escalate the situation, but he himself escalated the situation from the very beginning. You know, if he knowing that he had multiple weapons, he could have just easily just complied and got disarmed, and then there would have not been a need for him to get shot in the head, right? I'm surprised that he survived. I don't know what else conspired within that story, and it is what it is, man. And we're just gonna move past that story, man. But if you guys feel that the officers honestly, you know, did something wrong within their training, and that did not need to happen, I would really like to know. We also post a link to on the comment section. So if you're watching this live, you could just click on that link, and then you could jump on live. It tells you how to jump on, and then you could come out, you know, and we could talk about it as well, man. But personally, me, I don't think those officers did anything wrong. They were Orange County officers, right? And so those were like, I hate to say it, those were the good guys. Those are the good cops that they did what they were supposed to do. But unfortunately, there's other areas in law enforcement that people don't always follow the rules, don't always follow the law. And like I said, like I show these videos not for not to bash on cops, not to say, oh, I hate cops, right? Like I said, I show like the both sides of what's like how it is and what it shouldn't be, right? So what we have now going on is we have a situation where law enforcement, this is Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, and this was posted about 6 days ago, so it's recent. And this is what's going on. Let's check it out.
Eyewitness News exclusive. The LA County Sheriff's Department is investigating 2 of their own deputies for an alleged scheme involving weapons and concealed carry gun permits. The 2 female deputies are part of Sheriff Villanueva's inner circle. ABC's Josh Haskell has the story.
Sheriff deputies and federal agents serving a search warrant in Monterey Park Friday at a gun shop, Caps Armory, which is popular among law enforcement, including LA County Sheriff deputies. The owner, Roy Yamamoto, is a big supporter of Sheriff Villanueva and even hosted a fundraiser for his re-election campaign last month. The search warrant is connected to 2 female deputies who were relieved of duty Thursday, Deputy Gisel Del Real and Deputy Carrie Robles. Sources tell Eyewitness News both women reported directly to Sheriff Villanueva as part of his executive projects team. As part of their duties, both deputies helped process applications for CCWs, permits to carry concealed weapons. Sheriff Villanueva has been a staunch supporter of making it easier to carry concealed weapons with a permit. Sheriff.
Oh, that's terrible, man. I hate it when people, like I said, people in positions of power, they abuse their power, right? And here we have a situation where a law enforcement, right, 2 female deputies, right, that work no less for the sheriff himself, are caught doing activities they're not supposed to. Specifically, they did not say. Okay, I don't know if it was forging reports or whatever. The report did not say, right? But it just goes that right underneath the nose of the actual sheriff, there's this kind of stuff going on, man. And the way it works is everything's all buddy buddy and all cool. You know, everybody's all homies when everything's good. But as soon as something comes to light, I don't know that person. Nope. And everybody distance themselves. It happened. We've seen this happen in the streets. We even see it in the political spectrum, right? You know, and now we see it in law enforcement, man. There's people on all avenues taking advantage of the system, man. And here we have Gisel, the Real in one section, right? And then we have Carrie Robles doing her thing, man. It sucks, man. That these are the people that we have, you know, serving our communities, that are keeping us safe, right? That are upholding the law. And it turns out that they're no different. They're just breaking the law themselves. What do you think about that? Do you think that people that the law enforcement officers that break the law should have stiffer, harsher penalties for doing so, for violating the trust of the community? I think so. I think you know, they should be held with more strictness to because they knew the law. All right. Remember going back again to that video where we saw Mateo get beat up by Brian Nails, right? The big 6'2", 250 pounds officer, right? And I said these people should be fired, right? And in this particular case, they were fired. Now, we don't know if they're fired from the Los Angeles Sheriff Department. We don't know if they're going to be able to get a job in the Los Angeles Police Department, or if they go to Temple City, or whatever, or they go somewhere else and are able to get a job. I say they lose the ability in law enforcement completely and are never able to hold a job like that. And that's just my opinion. Okay, we're going to continue on.
Search warrants were served Thursday at the homes of Del Real and Robles. In a statement, the Sheriff's Department said, while disappointed at the alleged conduct this investigation uncovered involving department personnel, Sheriff Alex Villanueva will not tolerate employee misconduct and expects all members of the department to hold themselves to the highest level of ethical and professional conduct. Carrie Robles is so close with the Villanueva family, she refers to Villanueva's wife, Vivian, as her mom. Under Sheriff Tim Murakami posted this video of Robles and Vivian Villanueva dancing together at a party on his Instagram. Deputy Robles has been in the news before. In 2017, while she was patrol training, Robles was responding to a shots fired call when she ran a red light without turning on her siren and caused a chain collision crash. 2 boys were killed, several others injured. The DA declined to file criminal charges against Robles, but the county paid more than $22 million to settle the lawsuits. Gisel Del Real was married to ex-LASD Sergeant Eric Gonzalez when he was sentenced to 8 years in prison back in 2017 for his role in the beating and framing of Gabriel Carrillo, a man who was visiting a relative in jail. Del Real and Gonzalez have since divorced. We tried to speak with the owner of this gun shop when he was here, but he wouldn't talk. We also reached out to Del Real and Robles, but they didn't.
Wow. You see the importance of what it is to fire these people? All right, let's run it back really quick. All right, so Carrie Robles, because of her actions and her negligence, she caused the chain reaction that killed 2 kids. That would have been like fired from day one and never got the chance to be an officer. That cost you and me, the taxpayer, $22 million. That came out of our pockets. And somehow she was able to keep her job and keep on being a police officer until last week or whenever that was, that she got finally let go. Yeah, good going, Carrie Robles. Yeah, you're awesome. You're awesome. You're protecting and serving your community well, or at least you were, right? But now you're gone, and you deserve to be gone for doing stuff like that. Man, that's, I don't know, man. I just don't agree with it. You know, I was gonna say that she was a terrible human being, and maybe she is, maybe she's not. I don't know, but that's just my opinion. You know. And then on the other hand, we have Gisel Del Real, right? who's married to a police officer, who frames a guy, Eric Gonzalez, right? Name of her husband, frames a guy, beats him, right? And you saw how bad the guy looked. Same thing. He abused his power. We don't know what the guy did. And he looked pretty trash to me, man. Like they really beat him down. And now he's in jail for things that he has done. These are two distinct situations of cops actually doing their jobs, right? And doing it right, and other law enforcement officials who are completely not doing what they're supposed to do. In one instance, we have a situation where the lives of these particular officers was in question. And that's why sometimes officers act the way they act, because they have to be on edge at all times, because they go into the unknown, and they never know what they're gonna run into, a person with a gun, with a knife, and whatnot, right? So that was the situation. These particular ladies, it looks like they were committing some sort of fraud or some underhanded thing within the department, and they got caught doing it. I wish they would have said more specific as to what it was. I hope that at the end of the day, when they get sentenced, they're not found innocent. I hope this doesn't get swept under the rug. I hope that these people get what they deserve in accordance to the law, right? Okay, I'm gonna play back a short little clip of the last week's episode when I said something, and my crystal ball is kind of like on edge. Like I could see certain things happening before they happen, and I said it like a couple of days ago, and then I want you to pay attention to what I said, and then watch the follow-up video to what we just finished watching a couple minutes ago, and you're gonna see how it connects one to the other. Check it out. They need to be fired. That's right, fired. And I'll tell you why. Because when you work in law enforcement, there's no room for error. This is somebody's life you're dealing with. You could kill somebody.
Deputy Robles has been in the news before. In 2017, while she was patrol training, Robles was responding to a shots fired call when she ran a red light without turning on her siren and caused a chain collision crash. 2 boys were killed, several others injured. The DA declined to file criminal charges against Robles, but the county paid more than $22 million to settle the lawsuits.
There you go. Crystal ball. In effect, I saw it, and that's what happened. So what am I trying to do with these videos, right? I'm basically trying to say, look, man, I know a lot of people said defund the police, right? Cops suck and all this. I know some people, the way they feel towards law enforcement. I don't feel that way. If anything, I think that you should have the right people for the right jobs, doing the right things. And then when these police officers do stuff like this, then you should reprimand them or let them fire them, let them go, pull their ability to work in law enforcement, stuff like that. That's what I'm all about. Getting the right people to do the right jobs. If anything, that whole defunding the police, and this is just my opinion, I don't know what the point of that is. It's less officers out on the street. If anything, we need more officers now to actually look at all the things that are going down, man. Catalytic converters are being stolen, right? People are being mugged and robbed in Beverly Hills. It's just like nonstop. It's we need to actually have the right people. That's what I'm trying to say. Have the right people, and then also pay them accordingly, right? I think some of these law enforcement officers are making, I think, like 60 to 80,000 starting off, right? And then some will get paid 100,000, 120,000. Yeah, I don't know about that. Let's get them a comfortable wage, right? And then let's make this fair all the way around, man. These videos, man, they're here to open your eyes to what's going on, man. Because no one's covering this. No one's covering this. we're too concerned with other things that are happening within our communities. We rapper so and so doesn't like rapper so and so, and you know what? I don't like that guy's t-shirt. You know what? That guy's driving on this kind of car, and that guy's a lame. And it's like, pay attention to what's really going on, man. A lot of us are being bamboozled, right? It's all smoke and mirrors. Pay attention to what's really going on, man. You know, do something for yourself, do something for your community. And this is the way that I believe is the right way to do something for your community. Let the people see what's actually going on. Let's start that dialogue, right? Figure out what's the best possible way. When we see corruption, right, we take note and we actually start moving towards getting resolutions done, right? And that's what these videos are all about, man. It's transparency, man. Transparency. Um, and that's what we're here to do, man. Put the good word. But you know what, guys? Do me a favor, all right? Comment down below your comments, because this is not just my podcast. This is your podcast, man. And I really want to know what's going on with you guys. What you think about what's going on, the topics that we're covering. If you guys feel that these topics are stupid or just a waste of time, that's fine. Let me know. But I know that some people might get some use out of this, man. Hopefully you could think a little bit different and start looking at the world much bigger than like I said, that fictitious world that some of us live in regards to hip hop, pop, rock, concerned about dumb stuff. This is the world we're living in. This is this is the reality of what's going on. All right, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you next week.